Okay, we're going to go over the day 5 classwork. And in this one we had three problems to practice graphing. Number 1, we practiced graphing y equals sine x, and that's the parent function, that's in the black. I will highlight it in turquoise. So there's my class, there's y equals sine x. And then y equals 3 sine x, I'll highlight it in green. It's the parent function, it has an amplitude of 3. And so it's going to have a high of 3 and a low of negative 3. Again, the frequency for all these stay the same at 1, so the period is at 2 pi. The last one that you had to do was negative 2 sine x, so the amplitude is 2, but it was reflected over the x-axis, so that's the red graph that's highlighted, and that's y equals negative 2 sine x. The next question, y equals 3 sine 2x. We had a change in frequency, so we want to make sure you understand that with a change in frequency, that's going to change period, 2 pi divided by 2, which gives us pi. And that pi is going to be plotted at the end of the x-axis. Half of pi is pi over 2, half of pi over 2 is pi over 4, and so on. Amplitude is 3, so that means we're going to be 3 units away from the midline going up and 3 units away from the x-axis going down. So again, amplitude is always positive because it's measuring distance. And remember your sine 0, high, 0, low, 0. So we're going to hit 3 at the high and hit negative 3 at the low. On the back, we have a shift of up 3. So that means we have a midline at y is equal to 3. That is our new midline, our new x-axis. The amplitude is 2, so we're 2 units above the midline and 2 units below the midline. And there is no change in frequency. The frequency is 1. You see the invisible 1 right there. So period will be 2 pi. Half of 2 pi is pi. Half of pi, pi over 2, and so on. And then again, your 0 high, 0 low. 0 high, 0 low, 0, back to 0. You're going to plot those points accordingly and connect the dots with a nice curve. Notice I put the range on here where we started with the initial range of negative 2 to 2 because of the amplitude. And then we did an up 3, up 3. The whole graph got shifted up 3. So now the graph only exists from 1 to 5. So 1 is the minimum and 5 is the maximum. And then the next two questions, we're supposed to choose which of those 4 equations is the correct equation. In number 6, it's going to be different than what we've had. Notice the 12 pi. 12 pi is not the period. The period is actually 6 pi, because watch this. We have a curve here, and then I'm going to change my color, and we have another curve here. So we actually have 2 curves within 12 pi. It only took 6 pi to get 1 complete curve, so period is 6 pi. We set 6 pi equal to 2 pi divided by b, cross multiply, and we get that b is equal to 1/3. With multiple choice questions, we do use our process elimination. First of all, since we started at 0, we're going to cross out the 2 cosine choices. It's not a reflection, so it's not choice B. So just by process elimination, we did get its choice C. But I really want to make sure you understand why it's a 1/3 for the frequency, because we changed the x-axis. There's a change in period. It only takes 6 pi for an entire sine curve to show up. So you want to be careful with when you're talking about frequency. Same thing happens in number 7. We do see that it's a sine curve, so we're going to cross out the 1 cosine, and it's a negative sine curve, so it can't be choice B. But is it choice C or is it choice D? They're both negative 2 sine curves. Again, we have 4/3 pi, but there's 2. There are 2 graphs there, so again, we have a curve here, that's 1, and then we have another one that's right here. So the period is actually 2/3 pi. That's period because the definition of period is how long it takes for 1 complete cycle to occur. So period is 2/3 pi. Set that equal to 2 pi divided by b. Cross multiply, or simply by observation, see that b is equal to 3. So therefore C is the correct choice for that equation.